Hello, everyone. We're here for another episode of the Best and Worst series. We're here to talk about the don't miss things at Epcot. So we have a list of top 5 things or top worst things. I'm here with Oliver Green.
Hello, everyone. I am here. So our top thing. This was a hard list to come up with.
Yeah,
what did you think?
it's surprisingly hard because I've actually written a lot of articles about how I think Epcot needs to be improved. But now I kind of feel stupid because my top the worst things was hard to come up with. So.
I've done this with Pete, and it was much easier to do it for Magic Kingdom than it was for Epcot. Epcot's a really, really hard
Magic
one to
Kingdom
do.
There's just a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot
more stuff
to pick from. So, are we starting off today with our best or our worst of Epcot?
We're doing worst, right?
We're gonna start off with worst.
Yep.
Oh, okay then. I'm gonna have to think of my
Do you want me to do my number 5 first?
Yeah, let's start with you with your number 5, and then we'll move on to me.
Okay, so for my number 5, you're gonna totally disagree because I know you love this. Is American Adventure. Well, it comes from a place that I love Hall of Presidents. I think Hall of Presidents is my favorite show. As a political science major, I love Hall of Presidents. But I don't get the goosebumps when I watch. I actually just watched it 2 days ago. I was in Epcot. And I don't get that I feel so patriotic after watching this. So I'll probably get some hate for saying that, and people will call me a communist or something. But I mean,
call me Steve.
It comes from a place that I just think Hall of Presidents is so much better.
Okay, I get that point, but for that reason, I do feel very patriotic when I'm in there, which is surprising for someone that didn't grow up here. But that's why I love it. I love it so much because it's so patriotic.
Do you know what
really is.
Do you know what I think it might be? Is the American Adventure is more about what America represents.
That's true, yeah.
And I feel like Hall of Presidents is more of who we are and how the presidents represent who we are. And I just get that especially that part where they say presidents say what we're thinking or whatever in Hall of Presidents, and then it goes through the montage of all the hard times that we've gone through. I'm I just get the patriotic goosebumps. But this one just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with you. And that's the nice thing about these, they're personal opinions. So there's going to be so many people out there that disagree with us.
Right. Neither of us are wrong if we disagree. It's just our opinion.
Exactly. So let's see what I've got at number 5. This is to be missed, and there's a good reason behind it. I wrote Mission Space. Now, the reason I've put Mission Space down is because even though I do enjoy this attraction, this makes me feel ill. And I know there is there's the other experience where you can do the less intense experience, which I've honestly never done because, I do enjoy the more intense experience, but I feel like my threshold for thrills and my tolerance for that is quite high.
Yeah.
So if I'm going on it and afterwards I'm getting off, I'm ooh, I feel a bit giddy. I wonder what other people are like. Right. This is, it's not good.
I also just think for the cost of maybe feeling ill, it's not that good of an attraction. I think when I go on the Hulk in Universal, that sometimes can make me feel whoa, a little dizzy. But it's so fun that I'm I'll still do it anyways. I don't feel like Mission Space is that amazing of an attraction that it's worth getting sick on.
Yeah, it's not worth putting your body through that just to get that, that small thrill. Because it's, I've had personal experience with my own family members that have gone on there, come off, and it was my mum. It took her a good 2 hours to recover before she could, go and do anything else. So it's very, very intense. It
definitely is. I mean, my brother had the same thing where he got off and he just kind of had to hey guys, I need to sit down for a little bit. And so
it's why it made it onto the list. So even though I enjoy it, and I really do, I love going on there. I've got other family members that will go on with me that also enjoy it immensely. Sometimes it's just not worth ruining your whole day because like I said, it even makes me feel sick. So
exactly.
God knows what it's doing to other people.
Right. All right, so on to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, for me, I have Mouse Gear, the store. I just think it's the quintessential Disney junk store, and the fact that it's none of the cool merchandise. It's always the 2016 Disney World shirt. It's never the very...
Yeah.
I never find anything in there that I'm oh, this is cool, this is interesting. It's all the very generic Disney merchandise that I'm always so sick of because of living here. We see all that stuff all the time. And it's like, I can see if you come here for a once-in-a-lifetime visit, how some of that merchandise might be good for you. Yeah. But the more you come, the more you realize, like, what the good and bad merchandise is here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, it is very generic. It's very, very samey, the merchandise that they've got there. So there's nothing in there that excites me whenever I walk in. Yeah, It is literally just so like, oh, seen that. So yeah. And it's even
it's a lot of the Disney stuff that's been here for like 5 years. It feels like.
Yeah, it's even more sad at times of year. The time of year like now when we've got the food and wine on, because they do make specific food and wine merchandise, but you can't find it in there. It feels very segregated. Like the food and wine stuff has to be got in those like small booths around World Showcase, and it's just sad to see that. So
yeah, it doesn't seem like it seems stale. Like they don't really rotate stuff in and out of there very much. But
yeah. So. Number 4 for me, I have got Ellen's Energy Adventure. Ooh. So I hadn't been on this attraction for the longest time, and then Craig and I did a vlog a few weeks ago, and he made me go on it. And it's not that it's bad. The attraction isn't unenjoyable. You actually think it's bad? You think it's just...
Well, I won't go too much into it because I have to save some stuff.
Okay. But here's my I enjoyed it when I went on it. I really did enjoy riding the attraction. Mm-hmm. It's so time consuming. Yeah. Like you give up so much of your time, and it's not worth, because the old saying is time is money, and on vacation, the time you spend is, you've got to choose how you spend that time. This attraction is like a vacuum for time. You are just really putting so much into it, and what you're getting out of it, it's not worth it.
You're investing 45 minutes into an attraction that's really not that worth it. And you could be, Epcot has, Soarin' and some attractions that, have longer lines right now. That if Soarin's wait is 60 minutes, I'd rather wait in line for Soarin', in the span of a day at Epcot, and not feel like I'm wasting my time because I know I'm eventually going to be riding one of the best attractions there. Yeah. Than actually riding the Universe of Energy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying completely. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it at all. Yeah.
Should we move on to the next one?
What is your
number 3 for me? I have The Circle of Life, an environmental fable. I don't know have you ever seen it?
Never done it. Ever done it.
Well, I would say it's one of those ones where it's just not worth doing. Yeah. Try everything, but
what is it exactly?
It's a movie.
Okay.
It's a movie, you go down in a theater. I'm trying to think of something it's comparable to, but yeah, it's just almost like a movie theater, and you go in, and it's a movie with the Lion King characters telling you about what being environmentally friendly is, and it's nice and cute in the sense that they're teaching you about protecting the environment, but it's just done very poorly.
Yeah, that sounds like and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never been on the attraction, but with theme parks now are built to stimulate children and adults, and if you're trying to communicate a message as important as that, I feel like they need a better way to do it rather than just a theater and a movie. So,
well, I think Walt Disney had a quote about you entertain them and then hope that they can be educated. Rather, don't educate them and hope that they're entertained.
Yeah. And you feel like this.
It's fine that they're sending a message. I think a good example is Living with the Land.
Yeah.
The boat ride. I enjoy it. That's not on my list for best or anything, but that is an attraction that is fun, and you do learn a little bit of stuff about plants and all that kind of stuff. So I think that there's a way to do it without boring people. And the Circle of Life movie just doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go and check it out now.
Yeah,
you've got me interested, because I get what you're saying. I love Living with the Land as well. It's not made it onto any, it's nothing to write home about, but it's still not a terrible attraction. That does a really good job of communicating that education piece to you without boring you.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I might have to go over and see what it's all about.
So what's your number 3?
Number 3. This one might come as again, I'm going to infuriate some people. Maybe, I don't know. And just to reiterate, these are our own opinions. This isn't. What I'm saying doesn't have to be what you believe. It's my opinion. Your opinion is yours. My number 3 is any of the stores, for personal reasons, in the English Pavilion, the United Kingdom Pavilion. And here's why. As you may know, I grew up in England, in the United Kingdom. Therefore, I've got a pretty good idea of what the stores are like there and the products that they sell. Even though the stores here do reflect the inside facade very well, facade, that's an outside, but the inside theming very well, it's very accurate of what a store would be like, and the products that they sell are, again, very accurate. I sound like an old lady now, but the prices are extortionate. I was like, literally, the markup that they've got on this stuff, which I know it's Disney, it's imported. I get that. Before you start telling me, I get that. But it kills me a little bit inside to pay for, like, I don't know, a Jaffa Cake or a Terry's Chocolate Orange at 5 times the amount I was paying for it in the UK. Right. And it's just, it's upsetting.
Like, this is not the authentic experience because of how much money I'm paying for it.
And I get that because I go to the other stores in the other world pavilions, and it's like, I'll look at the stuff and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's pricey, but I can't just get that anywhere. Yeah. For the longest time, I could get that. And now when I have to like hand over like 5 times as much, it just kills me inside. So for that reason, and that reason alone, so don't get angry, that is why I have put any of the shops in the English Pavilion at my number 3 on the list.
Do you know what I have to say, though? I love Lion bars. And those stores taught me what a Lion bar is.
Yeah, Lion bars are good. Yeah. It is, and this is what I mean. Like, for you, it's awesome. Like, as someone that may not have had the opportunity to have them, like, as often as I did as a child, it's a great experience for you to try that. And you probably don't mind paying that huge markup, but I don't need to experience any more English food. Right. I've had my quota.
Here's what it is. I think I'm kind of just wrapping my head around it. For someone that's from the UK, that's not really a special experience because you've done it before. But for someone from America or visiting from another country not from the UK, it's like, this is an experience. Yeah. Like, I'm paying. Like, so when I bought that Lion bar, it's way more than like a Hershey's bar or Snickers or whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, but this is an experience that I'm having. But for you, that would be like going in and seeing a Snickers bar for $5.
Exactly, and it just kills me. And it's just to put, it's not just Disney, as even though this is a Disney-based show, I will point out that Universal just down the road has Harry Potter, and they sell some English stuff in their lines there. Mm-hmm. Also, just as extortionate, like they mark it up about 4 or 5 times more than it should be.
Right.
And
it's not a Disney problem; it's really just a theme park problem.
It is, and it is theme park too, because even the local shops down here, places like Publix, which is a grocery store, they have like English sections. Even Target does. My local Target now has like a small English section where I can buy this stuff, and it's still half the price of what I would pay in Epcot. So that's why it just kills me just a little bit to try and get that fix that I probably don't need and pay so much for it. So that's why it's at number 3.
Very fair. All right, so my number 2, I have the electric umbrella in Future World.
Ooh.
I think it's really that it's not a horrible quick service restaurant. I think there are actually a lot worse quick service restaurants on Walt Disney World, but Cosmic Rays. But it's just one of those things where you're in Epcot that has so many good food choices.
Yes.
That there's no excuse to get a burger when you have the World Showcase right next to you.
This is always my argument for anyone that wants to go into Epcot and get a burger and fries. Unless you're the world's pickiest eater, that is the worst decision you've made that day, because you're surrounded by all these experiences. You don't get, to try I was going to say fish and chips, like that would kind of counteract my previous argument, but you don't get to try like, British cuisine, not Australian, German, like French, this is all stuff that's easily accessible to you, and you're going and having something you can get at Magic Kingdom. Yeah, at McDonald's. It's so stupid. I just don't. It infuriates me.
Right, so, you're there to pay for an experience. You're paying $100 for a one-day ticket. Let's just say that. Yeah, you're paying that much to then buy something you can buy outside the park.
Yes,
it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, unless you're a very picky eater, or maybe like you have really specific allergies that maybe the electric umbrella will accommodate for or something. But even still, there's still a lot of options for those people. So I really just don't see why you would waste your time there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you full-heartedly. What were we on, number 2?
Number 2, yeah. What's your number 2?
Okay. Oh, controversy again. This is going to annoy, there's going to be 2 groups of people here. The normal people that are going to be like, yeah, I get that. And then there's going to be the Figment people.
Oh.
Figment is my number 2. It's not for me.
It's just
not for me.
Yeah, I almost, but that would have been my number 6 on my list.
Yeah.
It's sad, I think, because of what the attraction used to be.
Yes.
So I'll let you continue.
I I mean, I actually didn't know the attraction for what it used to be, but I hear people speak very positively about it from what it became. And just, I only know it from what it is now. Mm-hmm. And what it is now disappoints me in ways I can't even put into words. It's just, see, this is what I get as someone that, you know, visits the theme parks frequently, knows a decent amount about Disney. This character that they've created of Figment, which, again, you'll know more than I will, but they created it. It was kind of like as the icon, was it, for Epcot or for that attraction?
Well, really just for that attraction, and I think it's kind of, he has become a mascot for like Food and Wine. They'll have him for that kind of stuff. But I don't think he ever was intended to be like the Epcot mascot.
Yeah, like he's I feel like they're pushing something that doesn't have staying power, if that makes sense. Like when I see, you know, Figment on like the aprons for Food and Wine, the average person that comes to Epcot, that's just a purple dragon. They don't know what that is.
Yeah,
and the attraction itself, to reflect it, is just terrible. So Figment as a character and the attraction kind of paired together is my number 2. I just don't like that they're pushing it so much. Figment should... Sorry, Kathy. Figment should just go. Like, Figment's time is up. Like, needs to leave.
I kind of agree. I think it's his time.
Yep.
And we'll probably get a lot of hate in the comments for this because there's 2 groups here.
Yeah.
There's like we love the Imagination Pavilion and everything that it has to offer. And then there's like, this is old and tired and we need to move on.
Incredibly annoying.
Yeah. And that song gets stuck in my head like so badly. But, all right. So on our number 1.
Number 1. Woo.
All right. I have Universe of Energy. You kind of had me, stole my glory from my top spot, but that's all right. It's just, you know, like we kind of said, it's such a long attraction.
Yep.
And it takes up so much of your day. And it's just, there's whole sections of that attraction that confuse me. Like, there's the one part where you, like, pull in and there's, like, a radio going on. And it's, like, talking to you and you're, like, in the pitch black. And, like, all the guests are, like, very confused of what's happening. I don't know. I mean, to be fair to the attraction, when I do get pulled onto that by someone, do I leave like mad and upset that I had to ride it? No, it's not like, it's not punishment, but it's not like if you're coming, like you said, for a vacation, you only have so much time. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what this list is about, really, at the end of the day.
And that's kind of to go back to what you were saying earlier on about, I forgot the name of the attraction now. The Lion King video.
Oh, the Circle of Life.
Yeah, Circle of Life. That does a really bad job of trying to educate people because it's not entertaining. Mm-hmm. I feel like Ellen's Energy Adventure or Universe of Energy, it's very entertaining. It's just
so long.
It's too long. It's like
way too long.
Yeah, it's... I know we've said it before, but on a vacation where you spend your time is incredibly important because it's limited. And this thing... just will suck it all up. Like you could be doing so much more in that time. Like it's not worth it.
Not worth it at all.
My number 1, I feel like it's and again it's personal, so a lot of people probably wouldn't have even heard of it, but Topia.
Oh yeah.
And that's only very recently. So I've done this attraction before.
I have not, so you'll have to tell me why it's so bad.
So the Topia, it's sponsored by, I believe, a paint company or some sort.
Skidden or something.
Yeah, that's it. And it's essentially an attraction. You walk around. It's somewhat educational. Like you'll paint the screens. It's quite nice. The technology they've got in there it's nice. It's hosted by the guy that plays Phil Dunphy. His voice hosts it. So Ty Burrell, that guy. He's very recognizable voice. Very. It's the attraction isn't. I don't want to say it's not boring. It's just not entertaining. And the reason right now it's at number 1 is because those where it's situated right now in the parks, in the I forgot the names, the 2 sides.
The Innoventions.
Innoventions, yeah, those 2 wings. They're essentially being unused right now. They've closed them down. They're not being used at all. I think there's some sort of licensing thing with whoever sponsors Topia that they have to keep it there, because right now if you visit, all of these wings are closed off, and it looks like a construction site, and then they've just kind of got this one attraction
little cutout spot there. Yeah,
and it just looks so sad. And for an attraction that's not kind of worth it, it's like you've just dressed this slightly probably below average attraction in this really bad frame. So now it's just like, you look at it, you're just like, ooh,
it's
I'm
almost
not
like
do that.
The last store in an abandoned mall.
Yes, that's a perfect way of putting it. It is. It's that mall that no one goes to anymore, and it's like, it's just clawing on with like.
And there's just like a Sears at the end, and it's like, it seems like weird.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like when you walk in there, because you kind of remember what it used to be. Like I can remember what those areas were like when you had the.
Some of all thrills,
the Kuka Robo-Arm, and that was a fun area to be in. Almost like a nice little surprise because a few people missed it, like they didn't know it was there.
Yeah, right.
And now to go in there and be like, it's like a ghost town almost. It's just
what I
sad.
really hope happens is that eventually that does get Colortopia gets taken out.
Yeah.
And then they can redo the entire thing. And I would love for it to be like a platform that, Disney could have sponsors that have current technology. So like bring in Apple and Samsung and all the big like tech companies to show off like the latest technology, because that would be such a good theming for Epcot, and
kind of what it was meant to be.
Yeah, it'd be money for Disney to make.
Yeah.
So
no, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're doing there, because the other day Craig and I were camping out there to record something, and we had to wait in one spot for a long time, and I seen this guy walk up. Like dressed in clothes you wouldn't expect to see in a theme park, and then he pulled out his tape measure, and I realized, I was like, oh, you're an Imagineer. And he was like getting like all the measurements of the windows and stuff, so it could just be something as simple as like a decal they're putting on the window right now, but I like to imagine and look into it too much, so I'm hoping we do see something in the not too distant future with that area just there.
Very cool. All right, so I think that'll do it for this series of the best and worst. Unless you have anything else to say.
No, I'm just going to run down my list really quickly, top to bottom. So number 5 was Mission Space. Number 4 was Ellen's Energy Adventure. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm getting the
Ellen's
name.
Energy Adventure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I call it a few different things.
Well, some people call it Universe of Energy. Some people, I think Universe of Energy is like the name of the pavilion, but all that's in the pavilion is Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong and tell me if I'm wrong in the comments.
Yeah. Number 3 was, and again, I apologize because I'm sure I'll get some hate, but the stores in the English pavilion, in the United Kingdom pavilion. Number 2, Figment, the awful purple dragon. And number 1 was Colortopia, just because it looks sad right now.
Yeah. All right, so for my list, I have at number 5, American Adventure. Number 4, Mouse Gear. Number 3, The Circle of Life. Number 2, Electric Umbrella. And number 1, Universe of Energy, or Ellen's Energy Adventure. Yeah. So that'll do it for this episode of the Best and Worst. Thanks for watching, and comment and subscribe.